Hello, everyone. This is Scratchin Jack, your host for the Amazing Skilled Modelers Sunday Hangout. Boy, it's already that time. Boy, that extra hour of sleep made me a little groggy. It is no more. I say no more overtime. I'm just thinking about work already. But no, there's no more daylight in the evenings until the spring. So it's going to be prime modeling weather and season. So Amazing Scale Modelers is a Google Plus and Facebook community of scale modelers reaching across all scale modeling genres, mediums, and to encourage friendships from around the world. And today, we hope you'll find it to be an important source of information about the hobby and hear about something new and see firsthand the scale modeling experience. Joining me today are the usual suspects to help me kill time in doing these things. And if you want to join us, the live chat is open. I'll be over there momentarily. So bring your questions, comments. All are welcome today. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment and make suggestions on our channel on YouTube. And today I got one thing planned aside from the usual format. And we're going to start with Jim. How you doing, Jim?
I'm doing fine there, Jack. Yeah, I got it. I don't know.
Sorry, I just had to throw that in there.
Yeah, I've started doing some work, started cutting out windows, at least the ones in the front piece of, let me just show an image, it's probably easier. Boink. Share. I got these windows here cut out. These teeny tiny little things. So that's the ones I got cut out. Get you back here. Boink. Okay. So they were fun.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah. So that's the ones I got. Those three little slots.
Cool.
On both sides.
But sure, that was fun to do, huh?
Oh, it was like it was just going in there with a knife and then scratch and scratch and scratch and scratch and scratch, because it's only about a knife width length each slot. So once I got it through to the other side, then I used the knife backwards and started picking them open and squaring them off. So that took a bit of time. It took me about 2 hours to get both sides done on that. So that's the first set of windows to get done. Then I've got the rest of these on the main part of the hull to get done. I've got there's 2 here and there's 4 here to get cut out. So that's what's next. And hopefully tomorrow I can get out to the art store and get my casting compound and resin. So I want to experiment with casting my my back. So I can get that cast. I may have to cast. I gotta look here. I may have to cast the engine nozzles too. We'll soon see how things.
Well, I hope you get to do that this coming couple of weeks, because maybe next Sunday we'll talk. I was actually thinking about talking about mold making, and Jay's a pretty big proponent of that, and making parts and making duplications, particularly if you've got repetitive parts. But if you're able to make that in the next couple of weeks, we'll talk about the casting of parts in silicone. I think you're using silicone, aren't you?
I'm going to use silicone rubber for the molds, yeah. Especially for this one, I got to do a 2-part mold for this because it's got detail on the back as well as the front.
Oh,
so I have to do a 2-part mold for that one.
Yeah, that would be very interesting.
The nozzles I can do with the 1 part, but that back panel's got to be a 2-part.
Well, I hope you make a photo set of your progress in that. That would be interesting.
Oh, I will. Yeah.
That would be interesting because that's another one of your hobbies is photography. But boy, your photographs are pretty sharp too. I don't know. That might just hold you back. That just might hold you back. So you're getting the experience of cutting windows in plastic, eh?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. No, it's
Welcome
not
to
as
my
bad.
world.
It's not as bad as doing an Enterprise, but it's tricky enough.
Well, it is tricky, but you don't have to do as many of them, it looks like.
No, I don't. But it's like cutting the windows out on a 1,000 scale, I think. Enterprise.
Yeah, seriously. Seriously. So, you just went over it and over it and over it and over it with the hobby knife. Is that how you did it?
Oh, I've got yeah for those slots. Yeah, I have to use auto knife. I may be able to use my diamond tools for the others, but had to use a knife because the knife is the right same width as the slot. So it was easier to do it with a
Yeah.
knife than using the diamond tool.
Yeah, cutting or getting a hole through the plastic first and working the hobby knife to maybe square it out or however what shape the window is actually in is the better way to go if you can at least
Yeah.
pierce the plastic at one point and just hey, that's what you were saying earlier, just one little shave at a time.
Well, what's fun about the windows on the side is the fact they're not totally square. They have a little bump at the bottom of the frame.
Uh-huh.
So that's the tricky part. The square part is easy. It's that bump on the bottom that's going to be the pain.
Yeah. How are you going to treat the windows once you are going to light this? You're going to have the
They're
light
going to
coming
be
through.
lit with yellow LED on the inside. So whether I'm going to use, I don't think I want to use yellow gel on the windows. I may use just a straight frosted gel on them. I'll have to see and experiment. We'll
Oh,
see what
so
I
you're
do.
thinking of using gels for windows and not filling them with anything anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, that's going to be interesting. That's going to be very interesting. Really looking forward to those results. So it'll be what Valentine's Day by the time you get done, no?
Yeah.
Really?
It's going
I'm
to
just
take me a while
joking.
because it's one thing to get the model built, and then I have to do the diorama too. So that's going to be.
Oh, yeah. So what kind of a diorama is it going to be?
Well, my aim is to do another box diorama like I did for the my Star Trek
Dry dock?
dry dock,
Dry dock. Yeah. Yeah.
base dock.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the
That'll
aim.
be pretty cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm just trying to figure out a
Well, your
way
aim
so
is
that you can
actually
see the
pretty
front
good.
and the back.
Yeah, I mean, if my choices were as sharp as your aim, then I'd be a good modeler too. All right, really looking forward to that. How you doing, Heath?
I'm fine, thank you. Sorry about that. I'm very well. Jay says, I was talking to Jay just like a couple of hours ago. He said
Yeah.
he'll be late for the hangout.
All right.
He'll be late.
He'll be late.
Okay.
But he's
Okay.
there. He'll be here. And I'm very well, thank you.
Is that the reason you're here today? Just to let us know Jay's going to be late?
No. I'll come to watch. And be my effervescent self.
Ah, okay.
No, I haven't really done much since Saturday night, so I'm getting everything planned up, ready for my Falcon build. So I'm just trying to work out prices. Size lights, resistors, battery packs, stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I've got a soldering iron down there, which is begging to be used. And I thought, well, why not use it on the Falcon? It's worth it.
Right, right.
It's worth it. So I'm just trying to. I've been on the computer most of the day doing sums, trying to. How much is it going to cost? How much is it going to cost if I import it or something? Just basically usual boring math stuff. Whether the photo etch, whether not the photo etch, whether the. It's like you got so many options with this kit. It's not funny. You got so many options with the with the Bandai Falcon. It's not funny. You got. I was talking to Jay, and Jay's got the photo etch for the 1/44th scale Falcon as well, which I didn't know. I had, because I mean, the thing's a bloody beautiful kit anyway as it is. And I don't see how you can improve on that, except if you want to, instead of using the decals, you paint what you paint the colors on the actual ship itself instead of using the decals, because I've had a look at the decals on that thing, and it's basically the same as the rest of them. It's just a bit smaller. I mean, you'll probably find the same thing with your Falcon that you're building, Jim. Jack, who are you again? Jack. I know too many J's. I know Jay, Jack, Jim. Maybe I should just call you Triple J. Yeah. But no, you'll probably find. I don't know what it's like with your Falcon, Jack, but mine was pretty much the same as the Fine Molds one. It's just that it's snap tight and stuff like that. I don't know. Actually, speaking of which, I had a look at your photo, the back burners, the exhaust of the 72 Falcon that you put up. Yeah, those burners are a little bit too big. The gap there. I don't know how you're going to explain that.
I don't know how I'm going to explain that here. I just got onto the live chat, and Mark is around, George is around, and George is saying I'm an expert at lighting the Falcon. Well, I'm quickly becoming that, yes.
Just do us all a favor, Jack. Just don't do what you did with the Enterprise, okay? Don't. Just.
Well, I don't think that's going to happen.
No. Look, in all seriousness, I think what I've seen, those Shapeways engine exhausts, they're for Hasbro. Because I've seen a lot of people use them. I mean, that Hasbro's not, that ain't no one, I'm sorry, you can say what you like. That Hasbro is not a 1/72 scale Millennium Falcon. Not by a long shot. Not by a long shot. It is, I think, I've done a personal measurement of it. It's like I don't know how big a 1/350, well, actually, the 1/350 Falcon is the small one. I'm thinking that must be like a 1/2000, maybe a 1/32 scale Falcon. I don't know, because if I'm going like with aircraft, I mean, the bigger the number, the bigger the smaller the number, the bigger the aircraft. I mean, that could be 112 for all I know.
The Hasbro works out at something like 1/43rd scale or something like that.
Big enough bird.
That big? I know it's a big thing, but that big?
I know
Well, hang on.
It's gotta be 100.
it's way bigger than the 72 scale anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Hang on, I'll just move some of my stuff.
Dad, that's what I have. Dad.
Well, let's put this
I
way.
don't know what scale I'm working at anymore.
The Hasbro Falcon is 66 inches long.
How much?
66 inches long that way.
Oh, shit, that's
66
long.
inches.
That's long.
Yeah.
That's long.
66 inches across. Now think about, I need the box. We've got stuff on the box. Hang on.
66? That's
not
like
the
over
length.
5 feet.
Length of your falcon that matters. It's the way that you fly it.
Might as well get this 1-to-1 scale at that scale. I mean, jeez Louise.
Hang on.
Build it in your backyard. But then again, well, maybe not in England. You don't have that backyard that big.
66 inches. They're smaller
Well,
tables.
there's only 10 million people in Australia, and it's about big as Canada. I mean, come on. You've got a backyard.
No, I don't.
I've got a shed that's smaller than that.
Okay, well, there's the box. As you can see, there's the box. This thing, sorry, I am wrong. It is over 2 feet long, 60 centimeters long.
Okay, so Hasbro, yeah, well, you said, Phil, Hasbro equates about 148, and Mike Morgan on the chat says that ends up being about 48 inches long. Well, that I would believe, 48 inches, yes.
Hang on. Oh, that's the wrong side. Well, let's put it this way. There's the dish. That's the dish, and there's the guns.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's the guns. Hang on. I opened it the wrong way. Idiot.
There it goes.
And
I think we should all buy a plane ticket and help Heath out a little bit there.
Stupid. Bloody sticky. Oh, that's right. I haven't opened this since I moved. Right, out you come. Out you come. And
okay.
voila!
There we go.
Yay.
That's the Hasbro one.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying about the shapeways one. If you have a look at the back end, oh, here we go. It's going to be interesting. Hold on for that.
You know, I think my burners would fit in that pretty comfortably, in fact.
Well, the thing is, what I've seen people do is because there's screws there. They've actually. Well, actually, I think. Who was it who was making this? I know someone was making this. Haven't seen him in a long time.
Augie Gonzalez was doing one a while back.
Oh, shoot. I can't remember his name. I haven't seen him on a social hangout in a while.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I wouldn't know where to put this. This is huge.
Really nice layout down in his basement, and he's got like TV sets, and his wife has a little area.
Yeah.
He used to hang out with Keith all the time.
Yeah, he was Mitch's buddy.
Yes. Yeah, he's buddies with Keith. Yeah, that's another person I haven't seen in a while is Keith.
I seen Keith a couple of weeks ago, but...
Oh, yeah?
Here's well, that's the X-Wing. That's the one that's the one that dictates that David's using.
Yeah.
Let's hear it. Put it. I'll have to get really wiped out.
You know, the measure of a man is the size of his toys.
Yeah.
And they're really big, aren't they? I mean, I really like to show this, but I wouldn't know where to put it. But that's the same X-Wing that David's using for his diorama.
Yeah.
That's the same X-Wing. Oh, geez, I'm mad. Why do I get these things? That's right. I hang out with you lot. That's right. I hang out with you lot. That's why.
All right. So that we're going to work on those. It's on the cards. It's on the cards. Let me put it that way. It's on the cards.
Eventually, he'll get down to them.
When I'm going to be able to do it, I'll get back to you.
All right. All right. Fair enough. Would that be all there, Heath?
Yeah, that's about enough of my name dribble.
Yeah, Heath, it was John Swaller.
That's it. That's the one.
Yes, John Swaller.
Yeah.
That's it. That's
And
it.
here's Mr. Chuck Brooks. Hello there, Chuck.
Hey,
Yeah, how you doing, Chuck? I got a newbie in. We've got an Egyptian fan.
straight from Imhotep's tomb here, also known as workshop.
I just seen The Mummy, Tom Cruise's The Mummy this afternoon. It was a pile of horse shit. I say that on a rated G movie. Listen to me, the rated G show. But anyway, it was entertaining. It was entertaining. It was nice seeing Tom Cruise in a body bag. I don't know. Was that the right thing to say? How you doing, Chuck? I'm sorry. I'm talking to you, and I'm just spilling at the mouth here. How you doing, Mister?
Doing all right over here, you know. Oh, I'm trying to make something out of nothing.
And you're the Chuck who's helping me out with these parts for the Falcon?
Yeah, like, did you get that sorted from Shapeways or anything? Or?
No, I haven't answered an email yet. I've been very, very lazy. I really appreciate you showing up so I can tell you virtually face to face. Thank you for your assistance in all this. It's been quite helpful in what you had to offer as far as a thought and opinion and some assistance. And yeah, I got an email back from Shapeways, and I gotta answer them back. They're asking me all kinds of questions about it.
Yeah.
Oh boy, what they do.
Yeah.
I don't know. So
I'm trying to help if I think I can. You do what I can, you know. You know, most of these guys here actually. Liam.
Yeah, we talk to each other on when it's Boyd's model shop.
Yeah, right.
And a regular commenter on my videos and on my Facebook.
I'm everywhere and nowhere.
well,
That's not my brain right now.
well, I spy an enterprise behind you.
Yeah, that would be right. Try and get it in screen. That's
Trying, yeah.
I can try.
Trying being the operative word.
I can try and get it in screen.
That's a big girl. That's a big girl.
Oh, nice.
Progress, but getting close. Getting close.
Yeah, looks all right.
Yeah, you can see I got a bunch of wires hanging out here. I gotta put the control board in, and I'm waiting on speakers from China.
Yeah.
Okay.
when you order from China or Thailand or it was really ordered stuff from Burbank, California, and got it in 3 days. My order from China cleared through LA, and 11 days later, I still have nothing.
Oh, that's not
But
good.
is it long enough? Not for China, anyway.
I'm beginning to believe that USPS has issues with China or something.
Well, I buy LEDs straight from China. Sometimes it's 2 weeks, sometimes it's 6. Just depends. I don't know. I don't know what it really depends on, but it depends on something. But then again, LED packets are like about this big as rectangle. Not very big.
I've had 2 days from China.
Oh, 2 days. Well, yeah, that's because you're in Canada. You're closer to China than we are.
I've had 11 weeks too, but still.
Actually, speaking of lights, what would be the best type of would lighting strips work for the engine in the
Oh,
Falcon?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
What's
You
that?
mean, yeah, you mean LED tape?
Yeah, LED tape.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because
What are you trying to light, Heath?
I'm lighting the 144th Bandai Falcon.
Actually,
Yeah.
You can also use side firing fiber too.
Hmm.
They would be
Just
good for
depends.
the strip lights in the cockpit.
Yeah, I was thinking about that because I know you got in the cockpit of the Falcon, you got that strip that's at the back, near the back of the Falcon where you see where she turns on.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking of using them there. Good work.
Yeah, Mark says
Good work.
that he's had things turn up from China in 3 days going into the UK.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I guess. Use a candle in the Falcon. Yeah, there you go, Heath. Just light it with a little candle. Birthday candles would work, you know.
there you go.
I would actually like the Falcon to be in one piece on a candle. That's exactly what I'm talking about, Chuck. Ooh,
Ah, that's pretty. That's nice.
That's nice.
that is nice. Is that the same kit?
The Bandai.
Mm-hmm.
God, how long did it take to get those lights to light up?
This was back in frosted the
That's very nice.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I had in mind. So, like, it's going to be in the air. If I was going to put it on the ground, I'd do the lights that go around the under the. Oh
Underneath.
God! Hey, you've been a Star Wars fan for nearly 30 years, and you still can't under the lights under the. Forget it. Just forget it.
Well, you know, you can even get some, some hamsters on a treadmill for a dynamo charge. I don't know.
I will tell you this, Heath. If you these, you probably. I ended up adding one to the extreme side because just to tell you to put an LED alone, it doesn't quite light up as evenly if you put two.
All right,
one
I get
either
you.
end too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right. Moving forward, we're going to talk to a few words with Phil. How you doing, Phil?
Hello, everyone.
And what
I'm
kind
doing
of a
very
haze
well.
do you
I'm doing
model
very
in?
well.
And what is
Sorry?
the composition of the haze that you model in?
It's a sort of a fog made up of Tamiya extra thin rubber black sprayed around and bit of X20A as well, just to
Okay.
yeah.
Just being sure. It's all legal and above board, yes.
And just me being quite vague about what I'm doing. So, yeah. Well, yesterday evening I made a 1-to-1 scale chili, which was delicious.
Okay.
But
what does that have to do with scale modeling, folks? Absolutely nothing.
But yeah, I've been rescribing the panel lines in my MPC X-Wing.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been doing some work on that again today. you can see the new or the replacement blasters in the wings. They're only loosely put in. I've only just slotted them in for demonstrating. It's been rubbed down, and I've just sort of done a bit of spraying of all the dark areas. Canopy, and I sprayed what was it? Tamiya smoke to make it tinted. So put some tint on it, and it was sitting there drying away nicely. And then I decided I was going to put the masking on and stuck a fingerprint on the inside, but I think I've got away with it because it's right up the front. So, and if you want to look at comparison of scales, there's that one. And then that one, which is 144 scale.
One?
That's
Yeah, that's
the
the
DD
small one.
Yeah, it's a lovely little thing.
Well, yeah.
You had you showed us the Y wings earlier, and we were saying that'd be a great force perspective diorama you could put together there.
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
Nice.
Well, you do it that way, don't you?
Okay, so which one? Okay, so I'll take it. The small one is in the background.
Yep.
And the big one's in the foreground.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yes.
A pretty good box.
And that's for them completely lined up.
Onto something.
Yeah, force perspective.
That.
The French diorama.
Yep.
Force perspective on a trench.
Damn, I'll tell you what. Damn, we are good. We are good. We come in. And we don't have any ideas about to do with it. Jack comes in, opens up his mouth. He decides to suggest something, and then bang, there go the creative juices.
Yeah, mixing scales works good for a lot of dioramas. You can use that for a lot of cases, because a lot of models you can get in smaller scale, especially military models and a lot of aircraft models you can get from, all the way down to 1/44th with aircraft and that. So,
Don't know how you could do the Falcon with an X-wing. You'd have to put the X-wing in the foreground, and you'd have to put the X-wing in the background, and then put the Falcon in the foreground.
Yeah.
So that small one. Nah, I wouldn't use that one. I'd probably use the Bandai one for that one. Get the small X-wing and have the there, and have the Falcon coming this way. So I don't know. Keep doing this all the time. It's like an air traffic controller, Yeah, okay, come in, left.
Fire me to finish PC, but probably in the rear along with it.
So that was the sum total of my day today. Really, it was rescribing panel lines. It takes a while.
Tell me about
it. So these are kits you've already assembled. You're just going back over them and giving them some TLC detail work.
Yeah. Well, this one I built when it first came out. This was the MPC one, and it came out in the 70s. That's actually an original from the late 70s. And as I say, it's had some modifications over the years. There was some years ago, I showed this yesterday, but I'll show it again. The little R2.
Yeah.
The one that comes with it, if you imagine that, well, the body and the head is still the original one, but the legs were really, really thin.
I think that one.
Yep. So I chopped them off and made up the some new legs out of layered plastic card, and chopped the head off, added a little bit of detail onto it, and blanked it off with some discs of plastic card, and made a pivot so the head turns as well.
Nice.
And what did poor Arthur do to you?
Sorry?
Off with his head.
What did poor Arthur
Off with
do
his
to
head.
you?
Yes. Yes. Sliced. So, yeah, that's... I don't think there's a great deal I'm going to be able to do with the pilot figure, though.
Ugh.
Mm.
For a start, he's lost an arm.
He's
Oh,
armless.
well, you make the lightsaber.
Yes, it's yeah, the facial sculpt on that one is
Little lacking.
somewhat lacking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You might be able to find a conventional pilot figure to put in there and just
I reckon I'll
modify
get
it.
away with a 48 scale one, you know,
Uh-huh. You know that
because
the
I know
NPC
this is about
is actually-
1/43rd. So, and I think not sure which one, but one of the 48 scale X-wings has a spare pilot in it.
Yeah.
So I may be able to do something with that. So,
Yeah, Mike
I'll be down
Morgan says that the AMT, or well, really the MPC X-wing, nice one next to the Hasbro Falcon, are about the same scale. And yeah, I was just holding up the box earlier of the MPC kit. I did assemble one of them. I did light another, but well, I don't know what happened to it. I couldn't. Something happened to it. I can't remember what it was, but I lit it. But it makes a good lighting kit. It's the right size for it. So that if you ever find an MPC kit, scoop it up. It has pretty good detail and it's easy to work with. It's great scale to work with. It's a nice scale. I mean, I did the 72 scale X-wing from Fine Molds. Nice little kit. Very well detailed, but you couldn't light it. It would be way too small. Way too small.
Speaking of the X-wing,
yes.
There's my coffee mug.
Oh, there you go.
Red
That was the rebel. Yes.
Red 5 standing by.
of course, that
Right.
one's that one's the lit and moving edition, so that's got motors in. That's the other one I've got.
You know, I've seen that. I've seen that one there, Phil, and I think it looks like the control. It looks like it's the joystick from the actual thing.
It does look a bit like that. Yeah.
Because if you actually have a look inside the actual cockpit in the Bandai, you can actually see the joy. I know it's only small, but when I looked at the movie, when I saw the moving version of that, I'm going, hang on a minute, that's the same as the 7.2 scale.
Uh-huh.
So there you go.
Yeah. I'll have to have a
I
look
should
at
have
that.
been how long it takes my computer to fire this up. There is a X-wing that was posted on the Google Plus community. Have you all seen it?
Oh,
Hang on.
the one with the
More info. The one that actually lights up, literally lights up with fire.
gas-powered engines.
Yeah, the butane gas one.
See if I can see
Yep.
it.
Yeah,
Am I coming through,
yeah, I saw that.
How to burn your husband.
Yeah, in fact, I am trying to find it. I should have found this before because I said yesterday on Across the Pond I was going to share it today. Because I don't know how it came up back to the X-wing as well.
It just goes to show you talk about one subject and there you go, boom, you're talking about it for the rest of the show.
Right.
There it is. X-ring
24.
resistance with real afterburners. That was done by Ray.
Imagine if I did a 72 scale Falcon like that. That'd be like that burnt down the house.
Oh God, no.
Man.
You need to cast your burners in metal.
Dude, don't even think about it.
Make sure your
Step
fire
away from the
insurance
model.
is paid up. Yeah.
Okay. Slow down.
What the hell?
And
It's a video,
come on.
and it's actually
Okay,
like
it's a video.
it's like one of those windproof lighters that we used to have.
Yes.
How in the?
Okay, I am screen sharing.
Yeah, that's it.
Uh-huh.
This is on the community.
Mm.
And what a classic piece of music to go along with it.
Right?
Oh, and have a look at the flaming diorama. Oh God!
Can you hear the soundtrack?
No, the YouTube videos won't send their audio through on the Hangout.
Look at that. Crazy.
Obviously, he must have used metal for the engine part.
There's probably a very good chance at that. Yeah.
Now, Ray, don't get the camera too close to those engines. You might blind the camera. You might melt your camera. Now, I must admit, I've seen some stuff. I've seen some people do some stuff with an X-wing, and I'm sorry, but that's pretty awesome. That is some made with Arduino.
It's madness.
God. Hey.
I take it he doesn't.
All right, now you're gonna get lost.
He doesn't switch on this these burner cans when he has the thing sitting in there, does he?
Curious about it. How is he?
He's probably got electric start.
Yes, he does switch a lot when it's in there.
Hope he
Probably doesn't leave them on for very long. Though.
Hope he doesn't forget about them and leave them on overnight.
No, if you watch carefully, they go off after a time.
Oh, right. The timer circuit on them, yeah.
Yeah, he's probably got a very short timer on them. Yeah.
Well, you don't really want. Well, you don't really want to leave them on. Oh, here you go. There goes your hand. I must admit, I've seen people do stuff with their X-wings. I've seen people do stuff with their X-wings, and I'll tell you what, that is pretty good.
Yeah, that is pretty good now, isn't it?
Actually, I think it's awesome. But that's me.
Can you match that, Phil?
I could use this and do it the wrong way around, but it'd probably melt the model. So,
yeah.
So would that be it? Is that everything you have to offer today?
That's pretty much it for me today.
Okay, very good. And let's bounce over to Jay. How you doing, Jay?
I am awake. I am here. It's been a weird couple of weeks. So, but I am here. I've been building right now. I'm building a couple of World War II models. This is the Hasegawa or Tamiya, I don't remember. V1.
Yeah.
And in the same scale, I've got the Pegasus V2. So I've been working on those, and then I went a long time ago in a galaxy far away, and I built this as the little Bandai kit.
Oh, that is some kit. I'll tell you what, that is some kit.
It is a surprisingly nicely detailed kit for the size. I mean, it still got some weathering and cleanup I want to do on it and such, but it's getting there, and it was fun to play with. I decided not to try to light it because I'm not an idiot.
Although I have seen someone do that. Someone's doing that right now as we speak.
I got the Paragraphics photo etch for the 1/144th.
Ah, that's what I was talking about before, Jack.
Falcon. Oh yeah, the 1/144th Falcon. This is the. Come on, open up. This is the photo etch for. I got to be real careful at the top there because there's these. Each engine has 3 pieces to it.
Yeah.
The gunner stations and set up so that you can light the cockpit if you want to. It looks like a nice little set. It's a little intimidating.
Is that for the Fine Molds 144th or the Bandai?
Yes.
Bandai, I think.
Yeah, it's the Bandai.
All right.
Bandai, yeah.
I don't know if they actually.
Fine Molds have a 144th?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was working on them there myself, but I couldn't find the Paragraphics photo etch for it on their own site.
I got this. I got this at a deal. I got it for $2, and I figured I didn't want to pass that up because normally it's about 30, something like that. But I got it. Locally, I know a guy, and been working on the violin, making a one-to-one model of a violin out of wood. So I've been working on this. I'm rather proud. I got this finished. This started life as a single piece of maple, so I've been carving and shaping and having all kinds of fun with that. Oh boy. And that's really about it. Just stuff along that line. I've been experimenting a lot with chemicals and various, like I got several different kinds of iron oxide. I've been playing around with not making thermite. I've been playing around with making for weathering and things like that with some of the different stuff, and it's been interesting. It's surprising how little real iron oxide you need to make a model look rusted. So, because if you're using the real stuff, it just is it's messy real fast. So that's where I am. And Alfredo just joined.
Okay. Moving on. Thanks, Jay.
And he's gone.
Let's work with the distracted modeler.
Oh, wait. Oh, right. Yeah.
He was a little distracted.
Probably distracted because it's after midnight here, but yeah. Not a lot since yesterday. Been I've primed my Luna
Yes. And 350 scale rocket ship.
Yeah,
Mhm.
big massive thing. Look at that. It very nearly doesn't cover my hand. Took a leaf out of Jay's book. Jay, you were talking about putting a light in yours. Oh, is Jay there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Sort of.
Yeah, I did. In fact, I could run upstairs and get it if you want, because it's lit and there's an interior inside the door.
Yeah. I didn't go as far as putting an interior into this because I thought, well, 350 scale. Yeah, it's a wee bit beyond my.
I'll run up and get it.
I just settled for
Yeah,
putting
do that.
one of those micro SMDs inside and just running the wires down the back leg so that they go in when they go into the stand.
Yeah. Yep.
That and masking and painting kit canopies.
Oh, that's always fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Apart from that, not much else. Yeah, just working on these two
Yes.
wildcats here. Oh, hang on, I'll just give you
We talked about that last time about the Wildcats. That it was a trainer, pilot training airplane for the longest time, and it last ran in the early '80s. Decommissioned. It was built at the latter half, I believe, the latter half of World War II.
No, these were carrier-borne fighters.
Fighters, yeah.
Yeah, single-seat fighters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they were not. They didn't start flying until they were flying through the whole war.
Yep, pretty
Yeah.
much.
Okay.
We thought they were almost obsolete at the start of the war, but they still soldiered on.
Oh yeah.
Sort of like escort carriers, things like that flew them.
Mm-hmm.
Especially the two that I'm doing flew from an escort carrier called HMS Searcher. They were in Fleet Air Arm use Lend-Lease thing, doing two different marks that were flown by the same guy, a late friend of mine. So I'm just kind of doing them in his memory, as such. For the Ulster Aviation Society competition this year. That's pretty much it for me tonight. Sorry, it's kind of short. Even shorter than
it's been like that with everybody, particularly me. I did absolutely nothing. I vegetated and didn't have a thought in my mind and watched a movie, which is unusual for me to sit through an entire movie at home. If I go out to a movie, it's just a way I pay for sleeping. So, but no, I didn't have to pay for sleeping this time. But I did watch. I mean, for a while. I don't know. It was just nice. Other than that, I have to clear up my Shapeways drama before I soldier on with this. I thought perhaps maybe I would prime the Falcon, which is showing the back end to the camera right there. So I'm just taking a break. I've been doing I've done a lot of stuff. I've done a little bit of cleaning up back here, but it doesn't look like I have done too much, but certainly it's a lot neater on my table. You know what? I'd like to talk about something, y'all. About next year's community builds, one of which is balsa or wood build. And I have some screen shares I'd like to share. And first thought when it comes to balsa wood, I did some looking on YouTube, and one of my favorite RC channels, Flight Test, does have a video on building balsa airplanes and kits that have been laser cut, and they go through some I don't know, they talk about how to assemble and what to expect when you assemble. And let me write this down before I forget. And they use CA. I think using CA is actually unusual for wood, is it not?
Yes, usually you can use straight balsa wood glue or carpenter's glue.
I would use that too, because I took a page out of your book there, mister. I did already buy my Aleene's.
Tacky glue? Yeah.
Yep.
That's good glue.
Yeah, so I'm kind of ready for that part because I was going to do some scratch building too with balsa. And to give you some ideas, I come across this picture. I thought of dollhouses. This is actually a kit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
This is actually a kit. And of course, right up here, we have the traditional airplane. Look how pretty that looks. And there are kits like this available.
Oh yeah.
Piper Cub, isn't
And
it?
of course, model railroaders have kits too to build their things.
Houses and bridges.
A lot of architectural stuff come up like this. The balsa wood will come in dimensions that would be relative in scale to actual lumber, and you can build a house like this, a bridge. Here's a bridge.
Yeah, they have a lot of the engineering courses. Always usually have one part of the course where you have to build a bridge and it has to sustain a certain amount of weight. So.
Ooh.
And then there's, of course, the massive models that would be doing entire cities. It looks like Manhattan to me. Here's something. I'm not suggesting any one of you do this in your workshop, but hey, if you got the room, sure, go right ahead. These are a lot of architectural stuff, but this is more like what airplane building would be like.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of ribbing.
That's a little auto glider.
Yep, it looks like it's got some kind of a motor on it.
Probably a .05.
That'd be electric, would it not?
Well, that one, that's it. If it's gas, or it could be electric.
Good grief.
And here's Jim when he was a youngster. This was before he got interested in paper. Yes, and who wouldn't want to do one of these?
TARDIS.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of ideas out there to do
Isn't that
to do a balsa wood. You can get a kit, you can scratch build, and that model, yes, you see a static model, use wood glue. There is a wood glue, Mike says.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, a lot of people will use CA. Gorilla Glue CA is used on wood a lot because it's thicker and it soak into the wood and is gone. It's a little it's a little bit thicker and it just.
This is the thicker glue. Here, let me take off the. This is the thicker one with the green top. The blue top is the thinner.
That's the gel. Even just the plain, super glue.
Yeah.
Even plain super glue like this is thicker than most super glues. I wanted to show this to Randall before the battery dies. This is when I built it, I put it onto a diorama like thing, but I'm going to see if I can get this. I'm going to pull myself up so I can see what's going on. See if I can focus on this a little bit.
It's got the airlock and
there's the ladder that goes up, and the door is open, and come on, turn slowly. Over here we have the oxygen tanks or whatever they were.
Oh my.
And then there's a communications panel or something over there. This was interesting to build because, as you can see, this is this big around.
Yeah.
So
I didn't.
So that was, and I did a lot of still frames of the movie so I could try to get the detail.
I didn't quite fancy trying to do the same in something that's like that.
Not in that one. No, I've got that kit too. I've got that one too, and it's like no. One I am lighting. Where is it? Oh boy.
Well, what I should have done was do this one in flight and then get the bigger one to do it landed, but no, I had to go. I had a bit difficult.
I'm also doing the rocket ship XM. I'm doing I'm lighting the tail so I can have it like in flight, because a lot of people are building it in a diorama, much like this one over here where it's sitting on Mars, but that's not really correct, because if I could find the darn thing, I could show you what I'm talking about, but that is it's right behind me. Wow. This right here is actually a 2-stage rocket according to the movie, and right about here is where stage 1 comes off. So if people want to build it as a diorama with it landed on Mars, they should be cutting it off about 1.25 inches up and adjusting the fins outwards a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to score it to indicate where the first stage is, and I've already put the mounting hole in so that I can put it like in flight like this in a diorama, or just on a stand anyway. But I want to light the end up, and I'm using flickering. I'm either going to use flickering LEDs or I'm going to build a flickering circuit. I haven't figured it out yet. Or maybe I'll use Bic lighters.
So,
real flame coming
as a staging rocket, it's actually slightly more realistic than the Luna was.
Yeah. Well, the one thing too in the movie, they do say that they don't show the Luna coming back to Earth. They show it leave the moon, and they point out two things. One, leaving the moon is a whole lot easier than getting there, because, believe it or not, a V2 had enough power to leave the moon and make it back to Earth. Now it couldn't re-enter or anything, but they showed in an animation that the Luna actually comes back by parachute. Believe it or not, the top here pops open and a set of huge parachutes supposedly come out so it can.
Given how small the Luna actually was,
yeah, it's. I don't see it, but like so many other rockets back in the 50s, it was a modified, or they started with a V2 body and then did some stretching and adjusting and playing with legs and all kinds of fun stuff.
Yeah, they carried the design with a very similar design with the Ark from when we're
the Ark, yeah, and rocket that my favorite rocket ship from that particular period was in rocket ship. No, that wasn't rocket ship, because I can't remember the names of the damn movies. But it showed up in a lot of movies. That same model showed up in a lot of movies. Queen of Outer Space used stock footage of that same rocket ship, and I've wanted to build a studio scale rocket for a long time, but I never knew exactly how big it was because I couldn't find any photos or anything. And believe it or not, I was watching about a year or two ago, I was watching an old Bowery Boys movie on American Movie Class, or on Turner Classic Movies, and it had one of the characters pretending to be a scientist, and damned if they didn't have the studio model of that rocket ship sitting there. And so by doing still frames from that and such, I was able to figure out it's about 30 inches long. So I figure 30 inches is close enough.
Uh-huh.
You know. But it just really blew me away that, you know, there's my favorite rocket ship sitting right there in Bowery Boys movie. I'm done. You can talk now, Jack.
Thank you. Sure, just wanted to squeeze that in too. But Mike is saying that the wood glue will be too heavy for RC. You do want to use CA because it's much lighter for RC flying. But I guess you could use both if you're just doing a static model. And also, who was that? George is saying that the building is easy. It's the covering that's the pain.
Yeah. I used to build those balsa models way back when, and
Yeah.
I always used the tissue paper covering. That
The silk span? Yeah.
Yeah, but a lot of people nowadays are using actual cloth. I can't remember what it is, but it's extremely thin, very strong.
You can use the plastic coat.
Well, yeah, there's that too, because you
put
tension
it on and they shrink it with a heat gun. So you can use plastic coat, and I mean, not a lot of silk span now, because that means using adhesives and dope, which is not very environmentally friendly anymore.
I haven't built one of those type models in, 35, no, more than that.
Yeah.
45 years I haven't. So I would imagine they've probably changed a little since I was 15.
Haven't changed all that much. I mean, still, the nicer thing now is that they're all laser cut. Don't have to cut all the pieces out. It used to be you just had they printed it
on a sheet of balsa
on the wood, and you had to cut them all out. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and there'll be sanding involved too, even with the laser cut ones too.
Oh, definitely. So, yeah, you still got to do a lot of sanding.
You got to do some sanding on it. But I'm actually looking forward to doing something like that if I ever can get around to it. But certainly, that is, I can't decide whether to do a kit. A kit will be just so much easier just to indulge in.
If you start looking at all the plans.
Does hand building a violin out of wood count?
Is that an F-16?
Yes, it is.
Hmm.
It's a balsa static model.
Uh-huh.
Jack, you didn't answer my question.
Cool.
Yeah, that'll be nice.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
That'd be nice. But that would be a bit of a pain. I was thinking Mylar as a skin.
That's what we were talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, where was I?
Plastic coat.
Monocoat.
Yeah,
Or
plastic
monocoat.
is the type of Mylar that you do with a heat gun, or they even make a little iron unit. You know, it looks kind of like a.
I don't know if I can get at mine or not. No,
No,
mine's buried underneath. But it looks like looks like a trim iron.
And those are also used on them. I mean, I have one of those. I've never used it on a model plane, but I got it for other stuff. And right now I can't quite remember what it was I got it for, but I got one. So
Yeah, I bought mine when I
can?
was building them, but I've used it so much. I've done so many laminated coverings on tabletops and everything else with it.
Yeah.
Do you think we can convince Dunmore to build a Gundam out of balsa wood?
That would be cool.
I've seen it done.
Don't know if
I've
it's-
seen a wood one built.
Yeah. Basswood and what have you.
Yeah.
There you go, Mark. Because we know it could, you could do it. So, George, does that mean you're in by building a wooden or balsa kit of some kind? Because you're saying that you're in, but I'm not sure if that means you want to do the build or not. It will look nicer sheathed. I suppose it would in many respects. I mean, part of I think the eye candy. Oh yeah, he's in. He says he's in for it. The part of the magic to me is just seeing all the ribbing and all the, like when you held up the picture of the F-16, you don't normally see that.
Yeah.
And that's part of the appeal to me anyway. But certainly that would be a.
I mean, what you could do if you still wanted to show the seething, you could go with clear monocoat and cover it with clear monocoat, and then you'd still see the ribbing, but you'd have it covered.
That is true. That is true. And you can light it, make it shine. Well, the studio motor of the Enterprise is wooden. Yeah, most of it is very much so. In fact, I think all of it is made of wood. Yeah, a furniture maker actually built it because he had the workshop and the tools to be able to cut those shapes and even lays them in some areas.
Right.
That would be a good example, Mike. That's right, George. So yeah, I think that's something that we think about and get in. It is November, and you can peruse the internet for some ideas and buy your supplies.
You can even go something as simple as this. That's all made out of wood that I made a few years ago.
Oh, yeah, Cobra?
Yep. This was actually a kit you can get, but I modified it. But yeah.
Actually, this I should be able to. I'm going to screen this share this one time because Don said he said that looks nice, and I think I'm going to share it again because I think it does look nice.
The TARDIS?
The TARDIS, and yeah, this is actually a YouTube video. I clicked onto a YouTube video, came up. I guess it's a description on how to make it. That wouldn't be so hard to do, really.
No, it's really that one's not that difficult to do.
I remember Carwin made a.
Carwin scratched his, and his is made out of.
He did it as plastic. He did it by styrene.
He did styrene mostly, yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And you can put a LED in it to light it.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't look too big, considering the tabletop and what's in the background. It's probably about 10 inches, maybe. Yeah, it's not too bad. Okay, this is www.scalemodelplans.com, huh? There you go. Gas stations. Oh, I remember those old gas stations.
Yeah.
They had the that must have been metal, or could have been ceramic tile even.
Yeah, they were. I think they were ceramic panels.
Yeah.
Onto the brick structure.
Mm-hmm. Let's see.
VA stations. I think they were stucco, but yeah.
There's a good one. Balsa Death Star, or not Death Star, sorry, Star Destroyer. Nice simple shapes.
Am I missing it?
No. Just thinking it would be an idea for a model.
Oh, okay.
You can build it any size you want.
This is something you had very similar. Something you had built something similar. The wings are open, and the sides, the fuselage are pretty much covered. This looks like a kit too. And of course, oh yes,
Catalina.
Yep.
That'd be ambitious.
This is ambitious. This is ambitious, and it looks like in this kit, you have some plastic parts in, like the nose, the engines.
Yeah, they're vacuum form. Yeah,
they're more
yeah.
complex.
Seeing the Gilla wells, it'll be like this one. It's got all these vacuum form parts in it.
Yeah, it says here wingspan is 45.5. That's 115 centimeters, a length of about 28 inches, 28.5 inches. I say 72 centimeters. That's a pretty big build here.
It's nearly a 4-foot wingspan.
Yeah. A DC-3.
There's a DAC. Yeah.
This is actually very. What's that?
That'd fairly well dominate a room, wouldn't it? 4-foot wingspan.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. You know, something a little more conservative. This is 3 foot right here for the DC-3, so to be conservative on it. But yeah, I mean, this should be pretty exciting and maybe we can even since I haven't seen too many people do it. I've only seen one member who actually builds old galleons of wood. An Eastern European, and he sometimes posts. And I think this would make it to be the out of your comfort zone build too, huh?
Yeah.
Because I don't think too many people have done these. If they have, it's been a while. Here's the F-15. You had the F-16.
That's the F-15. Yeah, but yeah.
There seems to be an inordinate amount of airplanes, but you don't have to do an airplane. You can do
architectural, marine subjects. You can do military subjects. Yeah.
Yep. And build a plank. I think that's a company name, I believe.
No, build a plank on frame ship. That's a type of construction.
Oh, okay. See, what do I know? Yep. I mean, this is getting more sophisticated, of course. The Love Boat. Oh, you know what? That was just showing something here. You can. I bought one of these kits. I think it was a motorcycle, and I don't know whatever happened to it. Yeah. But it is laser cut wood. I don't think it's balsa. I think the wood is denser, and you layer the pieces to create these shapes. And I had one that was a motorcycle, a Harley Davidson motorcycle. And you do not need glue. Apparently, you do not need glue to assemble these kits.
They're interlocking, yeah.
They're interlocking parts. If you look closely at this, there's a cross member that goes through here. This would be the interlocker for all these layers. You see here, there's probably one in the back too. Yeah, so yeah, these are all interlocking parts, and sometimes you don't even need to use any glue to assemble these.
But there's tons of plans you can get for whatever you want to build. So if you don't want to buy a kit or something in particular, you can buy the plans, and it's easy enough to copy the part from the plans.
Mm-hmm. Here's a partial skinned one.
Yeah, that's one way to do a cutaway. Yeah.
I hope Joe is watching. Joe McCaslin, he does the cutaways.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if he's ever done one of these.
There was a guy who used to be on occasionally. Mitch Sargraves did a wood TOS shuttle.
Mm-hmm.
There's something interesting. It's like he's covering. This is actually a larger build. He's skinning it with wood.
Yeah. Yeah. Then you got to get into when you start doing skinning with wood like that. Then you get into how to shape the wood.
Yeah. And is there some kind of compound or putty or something one can use to make it a smooth, hard surface?
Yeah, it's called sand sealer.
Sand sealer.
Yep.
I understand that to be a liquid thing that you got to allow to cure completely before you sand it.
Yeah.
That should put time onto your building. Boy. Big stuff here. Oh, yeah, it looks like the Titanic. Basic hull construction for radio-controlled ship models.
Yeah.
That's the interesting thing, is to be able to see through all this. And how about a birdhouse, Ken Skiffington says. Sure. If you want to be...
You should see some of the miniature architectural. If you look under... if you've got a Pinterest account, look under miniatures or miniatures and doll houses. You should see some of the constructions on those. Some of those are fantastic.
Uh-huh. All right, so I'm just reviewing. Boy, there was a lot of comments on what we were just talking. Gallo is a company name.
Yes.
That's the one that you showed up. Midwest Products. They usually have the balsa,
yeah,
but
and you might still find some out there, some easy built model kits. The easy built's out of business, but there still might be some of their kits floating around. Yeah.
Build, George says. You just mentioned that. He says he has a 50-inch Spitfire.
Mm-hmm.
I guess his room is dominated with this thing. Mike Morgan says birdhouses are okay. Use a dollhouse trim and piece. Sure, dollhouses would be something of interest if you want to be something practical for a niece, daughter, or. Saw a guy, Glues Brothers. I saw a guy who made a model of the Yankee Stadium of wood.
Yeah.
That's architectural, of course. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of ideas out there as to what to do. So anyway, with I think maybe in the future we can get into maybe talking about some techniques of doing. All right, let me write this stuff down. Wood building techniques. And you said you were going, and Jim, you said you're going to do mold making, right?
Yeah.
Okay, because I got to write this stuff down. I got to be a little more organized. I've been told that I'm a very disorganized. Maybe that's the magic. But anyway, so you heard it here. Maybe in 2 weeks we'll be talking about mold making, and of course, maybe in the future, talk more about wood builds. That will be one of the community builds that we like to propose, and start that in January. So we're giving you time to make that consideration and take a look around the internet, your hobby shop, and see what is out there, what looks appealing and doable for what you think your skill level is. The idea with this is probably be out of your comfort zone, because there's only very few people who actually have shown off some wood models. And yeah, try something different. And yes, just like Randall says, you can do something from Star Wars, maybe even scratch. You can probably even take a kit and imitate it, sort of try to use a plastic kit as your template. There's nothing wrong in doing that. You can try doing it that way.
There's probably plans out there.
And there's probably plans out there just the same, yes. And probably for free too, I would guess.
Yeah, there's a lot of free plans. You just have to go searching.
Yeah, you would know, being the paper modeler, your paper models only cost the paper it's printed on.
Well, Jim does wood modeling in that case. Then wood is or paper is wood pulp, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, but I don't know. I mean, I think you can come up with something genius after he does his Yamato.
Yeah.
Oh, he'll take like easy 2 weeks to get that done, no problem. Had a Cornet Taylor Craft. Is that another company?
Well, Cornet, yeah, Cornet's another manufacturer. Yeah, and the Taylor Craft's a two-place. I think it's a two-place aircraft, private aircraft.
Gallo just sells the plans.
They may just sell the plans. You'd have to check on their website. Some of these sites that you can just purchase the plans. Okay. The kits aren't expensive. I don't think I mean, this one was, I think, was $20 for the kit. So they're not. I mean, they vary depending on the complexity. The price goes up, but
right.
Some of the kits are fairly cheap.
Right. So that's gonna be some fun there. All right. So I'd like to thank everyone who participates in the community. If you're watching, join the community and join the YouTube channel. Like it, comment, hate it, hey, whatever. It's up to you to respond. It's up to you. And I'd like to just thank everybody over at the Google Plus and the Facebook communities. They've been very dynamic this past year in posting things. And I have seen conversations ensue. How did you do that? Well, I need help with this. And all of a sudden the floods come in of answers. And just like Chuck here helping me out with the Shapeways drama that I created for myself. So yeah, we're a friendly bunch. Help each other. That's what the hobby's about. We're all experts in our own ways, but I'd say we don't know everything. We need a little help here and there. And certainly we're going to try to do that with our community builds in the future, being the wood build and so on. And we'll talk more about that as time passes. I'd like to thank George. Mike couldn't join us on the Hangouts because of technical problems. Glues Brothers, thank you for joining the channel and the live chat. It was good seeing some new people like yourself. And also Dawn, I hope you get to work out your technical issues with your internet and be able to join us. And Mark, it's always good to see you, say a few things, and especially the things that you build. And that would be pretty well. Bob stopped by, our friend Bob. He was on lunch break from work. chat. Ken Skiffington, probably the master of all scratch building there is. The guy just goes on. He doesn't buy a kit. He just scratch builds. And I don't know if he uses plans or not. I think he uses pictures, reference pictures to do builds. I'd like to thank all of you who do participate in the live chat. It was nice. Your contributions were very much appreciated in this conversation as well in the past and, well, of course, in the future. And I'd like to say, Heath, thank you for stopping by, Heath. And Jay, thanks for also stopping by, too, and saying hello and sharing a few things. And today we had a newbie, Chuck. So how did it feel, Chuck, for the first time? You have audio problems.
Yeah.
No audio. Yeah. It's just, if you had a good time and if you are coming back, just nod.
Yeah.
Oh, thumbs up even. Look at that. Thumbs up. Excellent. It's good to see. That's the word I was looking for, an Egyptologist.
Yeah.
Yes, Egyptologist. And thanks, Jim, for stopping by, too. Your
No problem.
tutelage is always very, very, very well appreciated. I look up to you when it comes to my skill modeling.
Well, you're
Phil,
welcome.
thank you for stopping by. And he's a newbie, now a veteran of the Hangouts. And, yeah, got wide open. And thanks, Randall, for stopping by, too. And I hope you weren't too distracted this time around.
No, it wasn't too bad.
And in 2 weeks, we will see you with Across the Pond on Saturday, and 2 weeks from today for the Sunday Hangout. And this will be the last. This coming up shows will be the shows before. And I don't want to say the last. People will get the wrong impression. It will be the shows before the 48-hour Hangout that will be starting on the Black Friday. That's the day after American Thanksgiving, 8 a.m. Eastern, and we hope to go for 48 hours. Stop by, say hello. It is not a broadcast, so there will not be a live chat. So ask Santa to give you an early gift to make your computer at least voice. We want to hear you say hello. You don't have to have a camera if you want your identity concealed, but use a camera so you can show us what you've got going on your builds. And we'll be around. I'm going to try to be around for 48 hours straight. I would have done it last year if I didn't have some spirits in the first 12 hours. Maybe I can do the spirits in the last 12 hours. Anyhow, not that I will need that because I'll probably fall asleep anyhow, but I will try my best to be up and you people in Australia. Yeah, we need your help to hold on to the Hangout and say hello to your fellow modelers. So that's coming up too as well. And keep in mind that we have one more build left. That's the Star Wars build. This is not completely out of the box. Light it, add parts, scratch build, whatever else. Do more than just out of the box build. And we'll see those builds starting to, they've already started arriving, but in December for the new Star Wars movie. And this is your host, Scratchin Jack. Good night. Happy modeling, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.